Hello and welcome to my Christmas tutorial where I'm going to show you how to paint folk-inspired baubles using just two colours, a base colour of your choice and white gouache. Grab an A3 sheet of watercolour paper and let's start by sketching a few baubles. Begin in the left-hand corner with a large oval shape that has a narrow opening at the top. As usual, one side looks perfect while the other seems more wonky, so I'm just fixing this as I want a more symmetrical look. Add a little top with a circular handle. The next bauble will be a simple bell shape. Draw a simple bell outline and add the same top we used for the first one. Now we're moving to the third bauble and it will be very similar to the first one, just a bit narrower. At the top, make sure the hole in your hanging bit is big enough as you will be cutting that out for a thread to go through. The next shape will be just like a strawberry, wider at the top and narrowing towards the bottom. Add the cap on this one too. Fifth bauble will be in the shape of a teardrop with a very round bottom. I'm moving to the bottom of my page now, and this next one will be rectangular but with wavy sides. You can use your fingers to roughly measure the size of the top baubles to keep everything fairly consistent. Our next bauble is in the shape of a diamond, just a little bit more rounded. A few more to go. Now let's mix it up and draw an irregular bauble. It will have a narrow top, a wide middle, and then taper back into a narrow bottom but with wavy sides. So small wave, big wave, small wave again. Next, draw a bauble with a long narrow neck that opens into a wide round bottom. And the last bauble will be in the shape of an icicle, just wavy. Now grab your base colour. I chose Prussian blue, but you can choose red, green, whatever colour you fancy. We're going to start by painting every bauble in the same shade, including the little cap. For the cap, use hardly any pigment, mostly water, so it has just that soft tint of colour rather than being fully blue or completely white. As I paint, I like to go over certain areas again to build up a touch more depth and variation. But otherwise, this part is incredibly simple. Paint the main bauble, then water your brush down and lightly paint the top. I'll be honest, I absolutely love this shade of blue. It's probably my most favorite one. I always seem to gravitate back to it, and I've replaced Prussian blue more times than I can count. I'd be interested to know what is your favorite color that you seem to gravitate towards when you're painting anything, whether it's green, red, brown. Let me know. We're almost finished covering all of the baubles in their base color. Next, we'll start adding some outlines. Grab a thin paintbrush and using the same color, just with much less water, outline each bauble. Separate the cap from the main shape and give the whole bauble a bit more definition. Once that's done, it's time to cut them out. You can use either scissors or a scalpel like I do. I like to first cut the page into smaller sections so I can move each bauble around more easily. It makes the whole process much smoother, and I recommend doing the same. And please be careful if you're using a scalpel. They are incredibly sharp, and one wrong slip can do a lot of damage. Take your time and cut each bauble out neatly. By now, you should have 10 separate baubles ready for decorating. So grab your white gouache and let's move on to the second part of this video. Grab your strawberry-shaped bauble and let's do a simple folk-inspired flower design. Start by painting a 4-point star right in the center of the bauble. Paint it white. From each point of the star, extend a pointy petal. Then in between those petals, add smaller rounded ones. Repeat that same process again, this time painting even smaller petals and keep them all white. At the top of each rounded petal, add a slightly bigger white dot. For the pointy petals, paint a little triangle outline at the top, and inside each of those pointy petals, add a small white circle. Once that's done, add any decorations you like around the flower. I'm adding these little comma-shaped details, but you could try swirls, dots, or anything that feels fun to you. When the white paint is completely dry, grab the color you used for your base. We're going to add some darker accents. Start by coloring in the circles inside the pointy petals. Then add small arches inside the rounded petals and fill those in too. Finally, add tiny dots on the completely white outer petals. And that's your first bauble finished. Let's move on to the next one. Pick up your diamond-shaped bauble, and for this one we'll be doing a folk-inspired bird. Start by painting a long white arch with a slide on one side. At the top of that arch, paint a small, slightly open beak. Then add a tail. Now let's give our bird some wings. Create a big sweeping curve for each wing and finish them with little half-moon shapes along the bottom edge. Add a few feathers on top of the bird's head as well. Paint some curved lines across the wings for detail and add another curved line with small half-moons on the tail. Paint the space all white on both wings. Next, paint a tiny eye and add a few small dots above and below it for decoration. Moving on to the body, paint a line down the middle and add a simple flower shape as the centerpiece. Then add a couple of small leaves on either side. For the wings, paint some V-shaped ornaments to give them a bit more interest. That's the bit finished, so let's move to the background. In the empty spaces, paint a few little branches with leaves and add some twig shapes that look like small cherries. Add tiny dots on the wing ornaments, little teardrop shapes on the white sections of the wings, and a few tiny dots on the tail. And that's it. This bauble is complete. Let's move on to the third one. Grab your irregular shaped bauble and start by painting a wide upward facing arch. Inside that arch, paint 4 small petals. Add another wavy layer just above the petals. Inside each petal, paint 3 thin white lines for detail. Next, add a few irregular shaped leaves at the base of the flower head and paint a long stem underneath. Now let's add 4 wavy leaves along the stem. I'm leaving the middle of mine untouched at first, though later I decided to go back and fill it in, so feel free to paint your leaves fully wide from the start. It will make things easier as we go. In the background, add a few 4-point stars. They're so simple to paint, yet they look incredibly cute. Now grab your blue paint so we can add some more accents. Paint the middle of each leaf blue and darken the sepal as well. As a finishing touch, scatter some blue dots around in the background. Our fourth bauble is the narrow oval-shaped one. Start by painting 1 long wavy stem down the center. Now this one will be super simple, as all you need to do is add these little leaves on each side that have 3 little humps on the top, almost like tiny clouds. And that's it, nice and easy. For the background, just paint some white dots. This is a very simple bauble, and if you're feeling like experimenting, swap the white for blue dots instead. It gives a completely different look. And that's this bauble finished. Let's move on to the next one. Grab your bell-shaped bauble and start by painting small arches all around the inside of the shape. For the main ornament, paint a heart, then add a smaller, slightly thinner heart inside it. Paint a line through the middle and add a few dots for detail on each side. Now we're going to repeat this pattern across the whole bauble. Mix it up by adding some upside down hearts as well to keep the design more interesting. I don't really know why, but I really love this pattern. It always turns out super cute. For the finishing touch, scatter a few blue dots in the background and it will be time to move to yet another bauble. The next bauble is the icicle-shaped one. Start by painting a curved stem. Add 2 upward-facing leaves and then a circle in the middle. Paint that circle white. Let's paint some more of these little buds on both sides of the stem. A tiny stem, 2 small upward-facing leaves and a round bubble in the center. Add tiny little leaves on the stem too. For the background, scatter small branches with little leaves. It already looks lovely as it is, but I decided to add these odd little details around it. And honestly, if I were you, I'd keep it simple with some blue dots instead. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, and yeah, I wouldn't repeat it again. With your blue paint, add 3 stripes in the middle of each wide bud. Add little dots on top of each line. Repeat that process on each bud. And that's another bauble finished. Get your rectangular shaped bauble. Paint a circle in the middle, then 6 pointy petals around it. In between each petal, paint 3 thin lines with a little dot on top of each one. Now go back to the petals and paint a small upside-down V shape at the top of each one, then fill the bottom section in completely white. Repeat this on every petal. Once that's done, begin adding tiny flowers in the background, the same shape as the main flower, just smaller. Paint all of them white. Now pick up your blue paint. Add 3 lines with the dot on top to every pointy petal, mirroring the details you added earlier. Outline the middle circle too. With the same blue, add the middle to every little flower in the background. Finally, scatter some blue dots in the background too. Next, pick up the long-necked bauble. Start by painting one long branch that runs from the cap all the way to the bottom. Add smaller branches coming off each side. Then on each little branch, paint tiny circles on short stems, almost like little berries. Continue decorating all the branches in the same way until the whole design feels full and balanced. Now grab your blue paint again and scatter a few blue dots in the background for decoration. Another bauble is now done and only 2 more baubles are left to paint. Grab the oval-shaped bauble next. Start by painting a long stem down the center all the way to the bottom. Add a large leaf at the top of the stem and paint a simple middle inside that leaf. Now on each side of the stem, add an irregular shaped leaf. Try to keep them a bit more symmetrical as you go along. Add the wonky middles on every leaf now. Don't add the middle line on each leaf. I will be removing the lines on the top leaf too, as I didn't really like them. I didn't need them there. Now switch to your blue paint again, and between every pair of leaves, add a little dot and a small stem that connects back to the main stem. Repeat this all the way down. Now paint the middle line on each leaf in blue. Finish by scattering a few 4-pointed stars in the background. And with that, it's time to move to our final bauble. Pick up your round bauble and start by painting a short curved stem in the center. At the top of the stem, add a small U-shaped receptacle and then a larger U-shaped flower head above it. Paint an oval at the top of the U-shape. Inside the oval, add a few connecting arches and then paint the whole inside area white. Now paint some wiggly white leaves on each side. I'm painting 4, but you can add as many or as few as you like, whatever looks nice to you. Grab your blue paint and between each arch paint a thin line and add a small circle at the top. For the background, paint a curved V shape and place tiny circles at the top of each V line. Repeat this pattern across the whole background. Paint a long middle line on each leaf. And finally, paint a big circle in the center of the flower and fill it in with blue. You should now have 10 beautiful baubles all ready for hanging. And yes, that little hand dipping in and out of the camera belongs to my 6-year-old, who absolutely insisted on helping. Each bauble is unique, some a bit more intricate than others, but every single one of them has its own charm, and they're all beautiful in their own way. To turn these into a garland, grab a yarn of your choice and cut it to whatever length you'd like your garland to be. Start by threading the yarn through the little caps of each bauble. If you're using a thicker yarn like I'm doing here, you might find it easier, well, much easier to use a big yarn needle. And that's it. You now have a beautiful handmade garland, perfect for hanging on your mantelpiece, across a wall, or even along your banister as a festive little decoration. However, I decided I wanted to turn mine into individual hanging baubles instead. So I'm going to be cutting the yarn into separate pieces, and we'll be tying little knots at similar lengths so each bauble can hang on its own. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me for this festive little tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed it and that it inspired you to create your own baubles. It's the perfect little evening craft when you're feeling bored, or a lovely little activity to do with children on these very long winter nights. Thank you so much for watching, thank you for creating with me, and I shall see you in my next video.